discovery of how the books we read and the characters who inspire us help us to make sense of who we are and who we'd like to be. So that's How to Be a Heroine, or What I've Learned from Reading Too Much by Samantha Ellis.
Thank you, Christy. Many people who deal with me at the library or in Supper Sleuths, my Mister group especially, know that I have an obsession and appreciation for Louise Penny and the Armand Gamache series. It's hard to find a read-alike, someone who does her specific kind of character building plus incredible crime writing. And this particular book by John Farrow is called The Storm Murders, and this is one of the books on my list of great adrenaline for 2015. Donna Leone, P.D. James, Elizabeth George, they all write really good character-based stories, but they also do everything else well. And that's, of course, the pacing and also the place, but more importantly, they always have a plot that really makes sense and comes together well. And this particular series is a Canadian again, and this is the fourth of a series. And the first three are sort of hard to find because they're still just getting over the border, I'm afraid. And Emile Cinq-Mars is an older Montreal policeman who has retired. And he was very well renowned, very well known in this part of the world. And he's known because he's done everything with his brain and not any fancy gadgets. And he's always been the one who figures out that last clue that gets them the perpetrator. Well, he's called in because they want him to sort of figure out if he can figure out what's going on in this crime scene. And what happens is it's a winter storm. He goes after the storm. He finds that there is absolutely no footprints leading back and forwards to this particular farmhouse, and there are 2 dead bodies. Just like a lot of other places that this has occurred, because they find out later through the FBI, this has happened in New Orleans, this has happened in another part of the United States, and they think that it's a serial killer. And they're going to try to figure out what it is. They find the man is dead, and he's been shot or knifed, and the woman is undressed but has not been sexually molested at all, and everybody is missing their left ring finger. So they ask him to become a liaison with the FBI, and he follows through. He is snarky, he is grumpy, and he is absolutely enchanting. And he figures out all he needs to make sure that this all comes to fruition. He does place well. Every place you go, New Orleans, Montreal, it's very distinctive. The horse farm he lives on, very distinctive writing. And the pacing is amazing. It's one of those kick-you-in-the-stomach endings that just comes together so beautifully at the end because the author knows what she's doing. There's a lot of talking in here, but you don't feel that it's at all, too much because of the way it is written. He does a really wonderful job. John Farrow is a pseudonym for Canadian author Trevor Ferguson, and I said his other books are very difficult to find, but the next 2 in this trilogy will be coming out in the United States, and I think there's one due this year or next. So you want to add Emile Cinq-Mars, to your short list of favorite retired Canadian policeman detectives, including, of course, Penny's Armand Gamache. So thank you for joining us.